If anybody been watching American politics, you would say that Nassau and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is not a real place. The biggest news in America, the two biggest stories in America. We don't get much news here in Abaco. Things cut on and cut off frequently. So you get little bits and pieces. But for the last year, the biggest news was the trade war. The trade wars on the tariffs that America is charging the world. Immigration, and one of the most deadliest conversations is the S-Spain saga, and how many well-off people were going to S-Spain mansion having sex with underage boys and girls. How many presidents, hierarchy, was flying on S-Spain jet. And the bigger question is S-Spain alive? If he's alive, go get his body. Somebody do a DNA. Does anybody know whether they cremate him or not? If they bury him, you should be able to get a DNA. But nobody ever asks, where's S-Spain buried? Was he buried? Or he's on another island? You know where I believe he is? Right down there on Nygaard Key. Nygaard is in jail for having sex with underage girls. You know where his training session was? On his own key. Nygaard had a key called Nygaard Key. And guess who was at Nygaard Key? And guess who Nygaard Key paid $5 million, he said, to help them come to power? The Progressive Liberal Party. And everybody knew, every member of parliament that went to Nygaard Key. The question is, were they also having sex with underage boys and girls? But we know for certain that they went to the key immediately after the PLP came to power. And it was so heartbreaking in Abaco. I said, boy, these fellas going to that nasty man. I used to call him the nasty man, Nygaard Key, and left their constituents. You all party by yourself. We going up by Nygaard, where you get some underage sex from girls and boys. And Nygaard trained politicians, them PLP, he trained them on and in Nygaard Key. And nobody from the Commonwealth of the Bahamas have asked for an investigation of who the PLP and the FNM members of parliament, ministers, prime ministers, how deeply were they involved in underage sex with boys and girls on Nygaard Key. Nygaard is in jail, but there has not been one investigation into the conduct of prime ministers of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and their involvement or their lack of involvement with underage boys and girls at Nygaard Key. When are we going to have that investigation in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? We know for sure that prime ministers was in the pocket of Nygaard. But the question that Kai and the rest of the Bahamas want to know, did they also have sex with underage boys and girls on Nygaard Key in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? And the question is S-Spain take over Nygaard Key while Nygaard is spending time in jail in Canada? But we need an investigation under the conduct of our prime ministers and our members of parliament while NIGAD was alive and throwing those NIGAD party like P. Diddy and S. Spain. The same identical thing was happening in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, in that little town of Nassau, but we haven't heard one single iota, not one single investigation. And NIGAD is doing time because he trained in Nassau to corrupt underage girls and boys on the key of NIGAD in Nassau, Bahamas, and the Progressive Liberal Party was and still is this co-conspirator. We need an investigation because Kai wants to know, because Kai cares.